The cafeteria was loud, filled with the usual chatter of students, but one voice cut through the noise like a knife, a sneer dripping with arrogance. "What's the matter, princess? Too good to sit with anyone else." The words weren't just cruel, they were aimed with the precision of someone who knew how to wound. Amelia, a quiet college student with sharp eyes and a dignified presence, stood frozen as a group of boys cornered her. She never told anyone that her father was one of the wealthiest CEOs in the country. She wanted to live like everyone else, without money as her shield. But bullies didn't need to know who she was to make her life miserable. At another table, a man in his early 30s sat silently, a tray untouched before him. His posture was straight, disciplined, his jaw sharp from years of tension and hardship. His name was Daniel Hayes, a former soldier and now a single dad working night shifts to support his little girl. He had enrolled in community college to build a new future, a promise he made to his daughter after his wife passed away. He was used to staying quiet, blending into the background. But something in Amelia's trembling hands and tear-filled eyes pulled him out of his silence. The lead bully reached forward and shoved Amelia's books onto the floor, the sound of papers scattering drawing laughter from the group. Daniel's fists clenched on the table. For years, he had trained to defend others on foreign soil, but here, in this civilian life, he tried to avoid confrontation. Yet as he watched Amelia shrink into herself, his instincts roared back to life. He stood up, each step toward the group echoing like thunder. "That's enough," his voice was low, steady, carrying the authority of someone who had seen combat. The laughter died instantly. Everyone in the cafeteria turned. The bully, taken aback, scoffed, "What are you, her bodyguard?" He stepped forward, trying to puff himself up. But Daniel didn't flinch. His eyes, cold and unblinking, made the bully hesitate. "Pick on someone who can fight back," Daniel said. When the bully pushed him, Daniel caught his wrist with lightning speed, twisting it just enough to make the boy yelp without causing real harm. Gasps filled the room. The message was clear, Daniel wasn't a man to be tested. Amelia stared at him in shock, her heart pounding. No one had ever defended her like that. The bullies scattered quickly, muttering curses under their breath, but no one dared look Daniel in the eye. When the cafeteria quieted again, Daniel knelt to gather Amelia's books, his voice softer now. "You okay?" She nodded, but her throat tightened. She wanted to say thank you, but words failed her. From that moment, Amelia couldn't forget him. Daniel became a quiet protector, not because he followed her, but because their paths kept crossing. She discovered he was a single dad when she saw him picking up his little girl, Emily, from the daycare near campus. The tenderness in his eyes when he ate. The cafeteria was buzzing with laughter, the clatter of trays and chatter of students blending into a dull roar. But then came a sound that cut through it all, mocking laughter. A group of boys had cornered Amelia near the vending machines. One shoved her shoulder while another sneered, "Why so quiet, princess? Afraid you might break a nail." Their laughter wasn't lighthearted, it was sharp, cruel, designed to humiliate. Amelia hugged her books to her chest, her knuckles white. No one knew her secret, she wasn't just another student. She was the daughter of Robert Cole, one of the country's wealthiest CEOs. But she never told anyone because she didn't want to be treated differently, or worse, used. Here, she wanted to just be Amelia. But that also meant she had no shield when the bullies came. At the far end of the cafeteria, Daniel Hayes sat in silence. His eyes, a piercing gray hardened by years in the army, scanned the room as if danger could lurk anywhere. He was older than most students, in his early 30s, and unlike them, his world didn't revolve around exams and parties. Daniel was a single dad, balancing classes by day and working grueling security shifts by night. His little girl, Emily, was his entire world. He had promised his late wife on her hospital bed that Emily would grow up proud of him. That promise kept him moving even when his body screamed for rest. But as he watched Amelia's books scatter across the floor, something in him snapped. He knew the look of someone cornered. He'd seen it overseas, in places where cruelty wasn't a game but survival. He couldn't sit back. Enough. His voice cut through the cafeteria like a command on the battlefield. Heads turned. The bullies froze as Daniel rose, his broad frame towering over them. He didn't shout, he didn't need to. Authority clung to him like armor. The lead bully laughed nervously. "What are you, her bodyguard?" But when Daniel stepped closer, locking eyes with him, the boy faltered. Then he shoved Daniel's chest, trying to save face. Big mistake. In one swift motion, Daniel caught his wrist, twisted it just enough to force a yelp without causing injury, and said coldly, "Walk away. Now." The bully, face flushed with embarrassment, pulled free and muttered curses as he and his friends scattered. The cafeteria was silent. Amelia's wide eyes shimmered with shock and gratitude. Daniel bent down, collected her books, and handed them back. "You okay?" he asked, his voice softer now. She nodded, unable to form words. For the first time in a long while, she felt safe. From that day, Amelia couldn't forget him. And slowly, their paths began to cross. She noticed how he always rushed off after classes, how he carried himself with quiet discipline, how tired his eyes looked. One afternoon, she followed from a distance and saw him pick up his little daughter from daycare. Emily's giggles filled the air as she leapt into his arms. The way Daniel's face softened when he held her made a